Hello, we're on our Holy Land Pilgrimage 2017. This is Joyce Perry Moore, the rector of St. James, Kent. We're at I'm Karam, which is the site of the visitation, and you can see a beautiful backdrop. We're going to ask Joyce just what has impacted you the most on this trip. We are about halfway through right now.
Well, I've of course been overwhelmed by the beauty of all the historic sites, the gorgeous churches. We just now walked out of a beautiful church with, hi, a beautiful church with murals of Mary and Elizabeth, Mary the Queen of Heaven. That's all been very moving. And I'd have to say that what's been most impactful for me have been the human connections that I've made here. I came here looking forward to living into being a citizen of the world and have met some really amazing people. I came to look for Jesus, and of course we've been following his footsteps and going to Nazareth and Bethlehem and Capernaum and the Jordan River. And I feel like I met Jesus in people like the public relations director at the hospital, or the nurse at the hospital, or the nun at the orphanage. That's where I felt like I met Jesus the most. In terms of the story that impacts me, there have been a lot of encounters with the Blessed Mother, which for me as a former Catholic has been really meaningful. I came here asking Jesus for strength for my ministry, and he has shown me connections with his heart and my heart through the Blessed Mother, and that's been really meaningful to me. And we were praying at the Church Nativity in Bethlehem, and a friend on the trip and I were kneeling at this beautiful statue of Mary the Queen of Heaven, and as we were praying we heard this one voice, this woman singing Angels We Have Heard on High, and I don't know, I think she was probably singing in Arabic. And it was so beautiful. The rest of the church was really quiet, and we met her a little while later. She asked us to take her picture with her husband next to the creche. And then later, when we were at the creche, the orphanage, after I had the privilege of holding one of the babies in my arms and not wanting to let her go, and praying so much for her, Ahed is her name. Her name means promise. We went back and celebrated Eucharist in the church, and that's the hymn that we sang, the one that has the long Gloria. And so I'm going to take that song back to my church. I'm going to take Ahed back in my heart, and we'll have the courage of Mary and Elizabeth to encourage my congregation to work to overcome fear and to be ever more welcoming to people.
Has the trip changed people have a vision of the Holy Land before they get here, and then they get here, and often, like anything we do like that, when we go to some place for the first time, what we saw in our mind and our heart is so different. What have been some of the things for you that have been like that?
There's been a lot of juxtaposition, so just immediately you'll see like this pile of rubble and extreme poverty, which I found hard to really categorize. It wasn't like anywhere I've ever really seen. And that right next to it would be a store with chandeliers in it. You'll see little kids picking things out of the trash bin, and then you would see a young woman and a man, obviously in a romantic discussion. So those things were surprises for me. It's been heavy, a lot of it. I've been surprised by, I've learned a tremendous amount, and mostly I've learned what I don't know, how much I have to learn about Palestine and Israel. I've always been a real champion of social justice, as anybody knows, but this is now a new cause of my heart, respecting the dignity of all people. And what gave me the most hope, I think, was visiting that university and seeing all these wonderful young women. They're very close to the age of my own daughter, who are the future of Palestine. And that gave me a lot of hope and made me want to do anything that I can to help them.
Fantastic. Well, as I say in every one of these, we hope that everybody back home will continue to say their prayers for us as we continue our prayers for you here. Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you.